more at keepitdigitallysafe.org.
Who are you, really?
My Talk 1071 is KTMY FM, HD1, Coon Rapids, St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Do you bring news I trust?
Let's do a Dirt Alert. News from the world of pop culture and entertainment at the top of every hour.
Guys, are you ready for this news?
On My Talk 1071.
But one of you better tell me what's going on and tell me fast.
All right, we got the latest box office numbers from over the weekend, and we had a big movie come out, of course, that being Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. We also had a Robert De Niro movie called The Alto Knights come out this weekend as well. Let's start with Snow White, guys. How much money do you think Snow White generated over the weekend?
Well, I saw it, so...
How much?
$43 million.
Wow.
$3 million.
Not enough.
Precisely, yeah. That's actually a little bit below the projection total. It was estimated that the film was going to cross 100 million globally over the weekend. It did not do that. It still will hit 100 million globally, but still...
just not as fast?
Just not as fast, I guess, so...
Yeah, well, there's been a fair amount of hype. It seemed like perhaps it was going to tank, but then they started spending money. I will say I heard an ad for it on a podcast, which is weird. I feel like I don't see a lot of feature films, but, good luck to them.
And let's talk about this Alto Knights movie starring Robert De Niro. How much do you guys think that they made in its box office debut?
Well, I haven't ever seen a trailer for it, and I didn't know it existed. So I would say $12 million.
$12 million?
I'll take the under.
Well, it debuted in 2,800 cinemas across the country.
Whoa, never mind.
And it debuted at 3.2.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's shaping up to be one of the biggest box office flops of the year so far, for sure. Did you guys watch Smallville on WB back in the day? The story about Superman in Kansas before he became Superman?
Yes.
No.
Well, there was an animated series in the works with DC, but now that is officially off the table. This is something that they talked about before James Gunn took over and kind of redid everything that DC is doing. They still had it potentially on the shelf, but now the creator of Smallville saying we're probably not going to go forward with it. So, sorry, all you Smallville fans. I know that was a really popular show back in the day. And finally, guys, after 100 days, Taylor Swift has finally broken her Instagram hiatus. This is in support of Selena Gomez's new album that she did with Benny Blanco. She said, "I love this album so much. Oh my goodness." And that's all really she said on Instagram. So Taylor's back.
Notice she hasn't said anything about Blake Lively.
Not yet,
or
anyway.
Betsy.
So it's good to have Taylor back on Instagram.
Yes, Queen.
All
yes.
right,
I've been waiting.
For sure. All right, that'll wrap up the dirt for now. I got another one coming up in just a few minutes, but if you need more entertainment news right now, go to mytalk1071.com or download the MyTalk app.
My sweet, sweet, sweet dirt.
Dirt Alert updates at the top of every hour. Extended Dirt Alerts at 8:20, 12:20, and 5:20 on My Talk 1071.
Dawn was on a ghost hunt at a haunted LA Fitness where Brad was doing CrossFit all alone. His squats opened a wormhole, and that's what led them here. The trap inside a magic studio. The adventures of Bradley and Dawn. Bradley and Dawn.
A Jason Stormer production.
Good afternoon, happy Monday, and welcome back to the most scintillating radio you're going to hear all day, at least from noon to 3 on the Adventures of Bradley and Dawn. And those trumpets are blaring for one very important reason.
This guy.
What did you say?
I said this guy.
This guy. Oh, I see. You're doing that on the YouTube. People can't see that, but you're pointing down, which is technically towards Mike.
The story of a lovely lady.
Mike Gangrey, the apostle of appetizers, is in the studio to catch us up because, kids, we're down to 2.
Woo!
And then there were 2. It all started with 16 of the greatest appetizers known to man. We battled through those sweet 16, moved on to those savory Elite 8, got down to the final 4, and now it's all come down to this. The 2 final matchups to determine which 2 appetizers have the opportunity to become the appetizer Bradley and Dawn Appetizer Bracket Showdown 2025 champions. Again, we have the top 4 seeds remaining. It is Chicken Wings, the 1 seed overall, going against Chips and Salsa and Guac, the 4 seed. And on the other side, it is a cheesy matchup between curds and mozzarella sticks.
This is so
2 versus 3.
nail bitey.
It is.
It truly, truly is.
Because I don't know where we're going to go.
Let's go to Chicken Wings versus Chips, Salsa, and Guac. Now, one thing I will say about the first matchups for Chicken Wings, as the 1 seed overall, you would expect they would have had a lot of success in this competition, getting big wins versus foes like sliders and onion rings. Now, they did win, but Chicken Wings just a 56% win over sliders, just a 60% win over onion rings, or 58% win over onion rings. Now, on the flip side, Chips and Salsa took down spring rolls and egg rolls 65% to 35%, and then destroyed jalapeno poppers 85% to 15%.
Whoa.
Chips, Salsa, and Guac have been performing really, really well. Chicken Wings expected to do well in this competition, just kind of sneaking by. What do the 3 of you think for this first matchup?
Dawn, what do you think? Who's going to be victorious?
This is a really hard one. I hope it's wings.
Yeah.
Just because wings are, something that you can order for the table as far as if you're at a restaurant. You can also order chips and guac, but chips and guac and salsa make you feel guilty. And sometimes they're given away for free. Like, here, eat these chips. Because you're like, I need to save room for my 3 enchiladas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that wings just make you feel good all around, and there's a guilt involved with chips and salsa.
Interesting. I just want Chicken Wings to win because I love chicken wings. And I also think even though they're just taken for granted, which is probably why they kind of, boop, ba-doop, boop, boop, they just eke along. And I think maybe, just maybe, they'll just, look, all you need is one more vote. And I feel like they might just do it again. That said, look, Chips and Salsa, an appetizer slayer. Stormer, what do you think?
I think this is where the Chicken Wings have come to die. I think this will be Chips and Salsa's one to win.
Came to die. They're already dead.
I hope. You
Yeah,
think they're not going to win?
I don't think they are. I kind of agree with Mike here, where it's just like they're just barely squeaking by. So I don't think they have really a chance here against Chips and Salsa / Guac, which is really the only appetizer in this entire bracket, guys, that you don't really have to ask for when you go to the restaurant. They just give it to you automatically, and that's the best part about it.
Yeah, except some restaurants where they don't, and then you're like, man, this sucks just getting one bowl of chips. Okay, Mike.
But you get what you pay for.
And there has been some outreach on social media, people talking about the fact that Chicken Wings may be less of an app, more of a meal.
Well, look, they're so good as an
not
appetizer. You want to elevate them to meal status.
And
Would
we're
you
not
ever
doing that? Because you remember chili? We let it in.
I know, no, I'm not saying
The
it should be in the
soups.
competition. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that's maybe where some people are like, oh, one
They're
is
thinking it's-
undeniably
yeah.
an
Yeah.
app. The other one, maybe
Yeah.
not so much.
I guess.
We'll find out.
What's that, Stormer? I hear you.
Well,
Here we go. We're about to find out.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Michael?
Here we go. In matchup number 1, the 1 seed versus the 4 seed, Chicken Wings, Chips, Salsa, and Guac. Wings came in hot, bringing their signature saucy swagger. But could it be enough to keep up with the relentless dipping game of their opponents? Every dunk of a tortilla chip into that zesty salsa and creamy guac was a slam dunk. The Wings, their finger-licking reputation flapping in desperation. And by the final buzzer, the versatility, shareability, and undeniable crowd-pleasing crunch of chips were too much for the Wings to handle. Chips, salsa, and guac move on. The 4 seed, victorious.
Chips and
down
salsa.
goes the top-seeded Wings.
well, I'm out of the bracket. That was my final pick.
I was gonna say now we learn why, but I think a lot of us dumped out because I think a lot of us had chicken wings going the distance. You're telling me chips and salsa? What was the spread on that?
That one was 53% to 47%. Another tight matchup, but chips, salsa, and guac too much to overcome. Got the victory. Again, hundreds of My Talkers out to vote, giving their thoughts on this appetizer bracket showdown, and it came down to just a handful there.
Just a handful.
53%.
Just a handful. Don't underestimate chips and salsa.
Well,
I guess that's
I
the
did.
lesson.
I
Yeah.
just didn't know it would be matched up against wings. But I did think wings would take it all.
All right,
obviously.
so we got half of the four-way down.
There you go.
One of the last competitors for Appetizer Madness 2025 will be chips and salsa versus some sort of cheese product. And by the way, if you're just joining us, that's what we're doing, figuring out with Mike's help who will win Appetizer Madness 2025. All right. Things are getting cheesy.
They're getting real cheesy as we move to the right side of the bracket. Again, the 4 seed has punched its ticket to the championship matchup. That means either the 2 seed cheese curds or the 3 seed mozzarella sticks will be joining chips, salsa, and guac. Cheese curds had a massive victory in round 1, 81% to 19% over crab rangoon. You then had a very close, but a win nonetheless for cheese curds over loaded nachos. So cheese curds knows how to combat chips. If it maybe will make it to that championship round, we'll find out. On the other side, mozzarella sticks, a close marinara win over cheesy garlic bread as Mozz Sticks able to move on. And then in the closest matchup we've seen in this entire competition, Mozz Sticks by just 2 votes got the win over soft pretzel and pretzel bites.
Oh, that was a weird one.
That was crazy. Yes.
Come on. You guys are giving up pretzels, a
Yeah,
big
but cheese,
pretzel?
don't underestimate cheese.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
Yeah. I'm doing that, Don. Yeah.
Because it is 2 versus 3. All right.
All right.
Thoughts.
Dawn, what's your cheesy thoughts here?
Okay. I think if this was a competition for the whole United States, I think mozzarella sticks would win because maybe people would go, I don't even know what cheese curds are. Like, honestly, it's a Wisconsin and a Minnesota thing. And I think cheese curds will win because we're here in the great state of Minnesota.
All right, so regional will affect the outcome, Storms?
Well, I did pick mozzarella sticks to go all the way in my bracket, so you knew who I'm rooting for. However, I'm terrified right now. I'm shaking in my boots because I just know how much of a draw cheese curds have geographically in this area. And guys, I'm doing really bad in our Hubbard Broadcasting actual March Madness bracket challenge. Like out of the 53 brackets we submitted, I'm sitting at 49th right now across the entire company. So I need a win right here, right now. And I'm hoping mozzarella sticks can get an upset here.
Yeah, my heart is with mozzarella sticks because they're my one and truly favorite cheese appetizer. I do love curds. I prefer fresh curds. I think we're talking about deep fried curds. So while my heart is with mozzarella sticks, I do think the regional emphasis in Minnesota, particularly on deep fried cheese curds, is going to benefit. So we'll see.
Yes, I can.
We do.
I can confirm this is deep fried curds.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes, this is
All
not squeaky cheese.
Did we say that?
I don't think it.
We just said cheese curds.
I just think for appetizers, most people think
Sure.
deep fried,
But I like that it's open.
It could be. Yeah, could be definitely.
But that might just give more people a reason. So I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna find out.
All right, here we go. We're about to. It was a deep fried duel for the ages. Cheese curds taking on mozzarella sticks in a sizzling March Madness matchup. From the opening tip, Mozz Sticks try to stretch the competition in its favor. Their slow, gooey pull.
Oh, God, Mike.
Cheese pull.
Tried to match the crispy golden perfection fast break of the curd. In the end, cheese curds and mozzarella sticks
Mike.
ended up being a 58% to 42% result.
Oh.
With cheese curds getting the victory.
Yes,
sorry,
curds.
Stormer.
Yes, curds.
Cheese curds topping Mozz Sticks 58% to 42%. That means our final is set. It is going to be chips and salsa versus
Cheese curds.
This, okay, so I think a lot of people are probably back in bracket-wise because a lot of people maybe had cheese curds going the distance.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can actually say I can speak to the brackets that we did here, and I believe only one had chips, salsa, and guac going all the way.
Oh.
And that individual is Steve Patterson. Traditionally not the best one.
No,
of these bracket
he's usually
challenges.
like out in left field picking,
but
clam chowder.
Yeah. But he, I believe, will
cauliflower bites.
I believe he'll be the he'll be the leader going into the championship round. But there were, I say, I don't know, out of the 15 to 16 brackets, I think 5 maybe to cheese curds. So definitely a popular pick with the curds, and see if they find a way.
I think we all just took chips and salsa for granted, and I think the
totally
lesson
did.
today is to not take your chips and stuff for granted. Mike,
yeah.
That is fascinating.
I feel fascinated.
I am very curious where this is going to go. Early bets, anyone? Mike, do you want to place a bet? Where do you think it's going? Are you trying to be agnostic?
I'm trying to be agnostic, but man.
Just give me what you think the odds are.
Mm-hmm. Odds are, just based on how that's performed throughout the course of this, I would say chips and salsa the slight favorite.
Wow.
Slight favorite over cheese and curds, or cheese curds.
Cheesy curds.
I just think, I don't think chips, salsa, I don't know. A big win in round one. It's just crush jalapeno poppers and then taking down chicken wings. It's proven
it's just like
stand up to
slow and
anything.
Steady. Dawn, what do you think?
Oh, gosh, this is tough because, you've got people that love chips and guac, but they're not thinking about, okay, if you had to choose between your beloved cheese curds, which, by the way, at the State Fair, there ain't no booths for chips and salsa, okay? People love their cheese curds. So I think between the two, they're going to go for their Minnesota favorite.
I agree. I think it's cheese curds to lose. Stormer, what do you think?
That is my initial reaction as well, based off what our final two matchup is. But again, like Mike pointed out, we've seen chips and salsa rally in a way that maybe none of the other appetizers have so far in this bracket. I'm going to go with chips and salsa just because I'm bitter that mozzarella sticks didn't win. So
Fair enough.
All right, so let the emotions rule, and good luck to all of you who have voted. If you want to continue the voting, will it be up today?
Just start now, yeah.
You should get a vote. I believe it'll be up, if not right now, later today, and we will decide and announce the winner on Friday. So you have between now and early Friday to get your votes in. Let's make it a big turnout, and let's see who gets it done.
Fabulous. Michael, apostle of appetizers, thank you yet again,
of course,
for doing the heavy lifting. Dawn, when we come back, Stormer's got all the latest from Hollywood during a Dirt Alert right here on My Talk 107.1.
Brittany and Kendall.
Much respect to wrestlers out there. You wrestling anybody, that's the hardest workout you can ever have.
Oh, man.
It'd be so cool if they had a class with just like a bunch of like suburb moms